Not long ago, I was reading a lot of stuff in newspapers and I was talking with a lot of people, and they kept telling me about this program that was doing great work, really amazing things in their community. And it was a program that I had worked with a while ago. And so I decided to give a call to the program director and see what had happened, what would account for the changes, because they had been fairly average at the time that I first was called in to work with them. So I called her and we started talking, and I said, what's made the biggest difference in getting you to move to this higher and higher level where you're really becoming one of the premier programs anywhere? And she said, well, that's pretty simple, Andi. Remember that session we had together, that couple of days we spent together on goal setting and goal achievement? And I said, yeah, I do. And she said, well, that made such a huge difference in how we saw our work and what we were doing and where we were going. And you reminded us at that point that there were things that we really needed to consider that maybe we hadn't considered before. And we started to do that. And I said, yeah, well, what were a couple of those things? I just jogged my memory a little bit here. And she said, well, the first thing you said was, you've got way too many goals. You've got to limit those to 2 or 3 at the most. Otherwise, it's going to become crazy making. People are going to lose interest. It's going to be overwhelming, and you're probably not going to achieve any of them. And so, she said, we pared these down. We took the 6 or 7 goals that we had, and we said we're only going to focus on a couple of these. And, I said, okay, good. Everything's going to work out much, much better when you can devote your time and energy and focus in a particular direction. And she said, yeah, and then there was something else. And it was probably even a bigger thing. And I said, what was that? And she said, well, you told us that maybe we were spending so much time on process. And the process, you said, was important. Everybody has to sort of, follow a process. And when you're setting goals, you want them to be SMART goals, and you want them to be meaningful and achievable and feasible and all the rest. But you said the process is overwhelming something more important. And I said, and what was that? And she said, well, you told us that we're not spending enough time finding out whether we have the right goals. And I said, wow, okay, yeah, that's kind of a common problem, that people don't spend enough time to know really whether it's their goals that you're trying to set are the right ones or not. And she said, yeah, and that had happened to us. And if you recall, she said, we thought, that in order to really build the capacity of our staff to be more skilled and confident and so on and so forth, we would offer more training. So we had put together this idea that we would have trainings once a week. And then you said, are you sure that's what your staff really needs and wants? Is that what they tell you? And you told us that was really the important thing to do, to know that. Was there that connection? And at that point, we had not even talked to the staff about it. We had just made that determination ourselves at the senior level. So we did talk to the staff, and the staff said, actually, we don't need more training. The training is fine. What we need is more support. We need more help in how we're going to translate that training into practice, into our everyday work. And so we changed that up, and instead of having the goal of more training, we kept training, of course, but instead of having that the goal, we put the emphasis in the goal on how we will really build the capacity of our staff to translate what they learned into their work. And she said that was huge. That was huge. It took us a while to go through that process to make that really happen. But when it did, everything took off. Everything really became so much better in so many ways, not just in achieving that goal of wanting the staff to be more skilled and confident, but the whole culture of our organization changed and things got so much better. And when that happened, we really came together in a kind of a common purpose and common direction and common goals and worked hard to achieve them. And boy, have we achieved them. So I just want to, let you know, this is a big deal. When we started thinking differently about goal setting, we started achieving the goals. There's a lesson in this. We very often look at goal setting as a process, and we don't engage the staff in doing that. But we're not going to achieve goals that the staff doesn't carry out. And so we have to spend time talking with them, finding out what they really want and need if we're going to develop them and have them have the opportunities that they need to be increasingly able to excel at what they're doing. It's really important to engage staff in the goal setting process. And it's even just as important that we really know what we're doing in terms of, are we focusing on the right goals or on goals that we just think are right? Let's find out to be sure. It will make a huge difference.